Now, ladies, how would you like to have all these things happen to you by your husbands? Well, I got 2 affirmatives. Not a bad day. Come on, you admit it. Ladies, how would you like these things to come to you?
Of course.
You think I'm going to trap you, don't you? And I am. Because I am Larry. All right, good. Yes. Yes. Husbands, this is the list you have to work on. Not a checklist, but it's a list which genuinely you have to ask on your knees before God. Oh man, Lord, I'm falling short on a lot of these, and I want to demonstrate real love to my wife, and I want to work on these. I want to get going on some of these. Now, we have said love is the wife's primary need. We have said respect is the husband's primary need. But we have also said that besides being loved, the wife needs to be respected. Besides being respected, the man needs to be loved. And so, wives, when you go to love, you two better behave or you're getting sent to the office. Right? And he does. That guy in the office does not deal kindly with kids who misbehave. I know him. He has a board. Or at least in the 1960s he did. I couldn't do it again. But it worked. So you behave, Marky. And don't let her lead you astray, because I think she's the real. Yeah. Ladies, you have to love your wife too, right? Because it's included.
Ladies, you have to love your wife.
Ladies, you have to love your wife. No, we don't believe in that in this church. Okay. Let me get this right. Ladies, included in his primary need for respect is your love. So what happens to this list, ladies? It becomes yours also. But remember, men, that's not an excuse for anything. It's unconditional love that you demonstrate to your wife. The only pattern is Christ. And we have just given you several, and there are more and more and more in Scripture that you could find of how this plays out in everyday life. How do I treat my wife? How is this shown in action? What's happening here? You choose to do these things. Love is a choice. Love is a choice. God chose to love us. He chose to love us, and even though I theologically don't understand how it works, he chose us for salvation. He chose to do that. You choose. Sometimes you choose to just shut your mouth. Incidentally, in parenting class, we can't use that word. Okay. That one and idiot don't come into homes. How come you always call me a dumb idiot? Did you not go to my class? No, I'm just kidding. You know that. So you choose to love, ladies. Now, look at your notes again, because, you know, if I had a different audience, if I just did a secular setting, and I said, how can you show your wife you love her? What are some of the first things I'd get? Oh, buy her flowers. Beverly is crazy for flowers. She loves flowers. Buy her chocolates. Buy her chocolate-covered Long Johns. By the dozen. Take her out to dinner. Take her on a trip. Now, in your notes, if I can find the notes, it says flowers, candy, trips, dinners, the bedroom, etc. This is a radical statement by Larry. Are not love. They are symbols and celebrations of the love we've just been talking about. Can you chew on that a little bit? I'm not telling you that's an absolute truth. That's just something that was going through my head, and I thought I'd run it on out to you. Okay? Debbie, what time is it, right?
Almost 10 to 12.
Really? Okay. So does this get you on a path? You know, a couple of weeks ago there were some questions. What does this love show? How does this show? How do I put it in? Can you run with that, Michael? Okay, after you're married. Lay the foundation up. If you ever find anybody you'll be married to, then you should really. All right. Kim and I are good friends. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Kim is my hairdresser. You better watch out. You see what's ahead of you.
Next week it'll be green.
Yeah, next week it'll be green, yeah, in honor of that red. She's been trying to put that red in this head for about 4 months. She forgets who I live with. I have to go home. All right, now, the tougher one, I think this is tougher, is respect, is this business. Okay, the lady says, man, how do I show him respect? Well, let's just start with a few basic decisions. How about this? You regard him as important. You regard him as the second most important person in your life. The first being the Lord's, right? The Lord's the most important person in your life. And your husband is the second most important person in your life. When something is important, I give time and attention to it. Correct? If something's important to me, I give it time and attention. I figure out a way to do it, even if I don't seem to have enough time. I figure it out because they are important. Okay? You figure out the time. Now, secondly, and I'm gonna rabbit track just a little bit on this second one. That which is most important in your life, you pay attention to. Now, one thing that I'm going to say, and I'm ahead of myself now into the parenting class, is that we have totally, in Larry's opinion, okay, when Larry says that, open both ears, so if you don't like it. We have totally gotten backwards in our homes because we have made them child-centered. Child-centered. They are. And we'll talk about that extensively because we are paying a horrendous price in our society. And I'm generalizing. I'm not, I'm not just blasting you on that deal. But we pay a big price. And so when I say that which is important you will pay attention to means your husband, as part of his respect, gets more attention than your children. And I don't care if you don't like that. Your husband gets more attention than your children. I could share this story out of the family because both are deceased. Beverly's brother never married until he was 30 years old. 1 foot in the grave, yelling at a banana peel. And he met a girl at the roller rink, in our day and age, the roller rink was the thing. Anybody lived through the roller rink here? Oh, thank you. Real human beings up here. And he met a fine young Christian lady at the roller rink. Eventually they got married. Well, she had been married before and had a little girl. A beautiful little baby girl, and the minute she had that girl, this sounds like a criticism, but this is past history, she took 100% of her total attention 24/7 to that girl. And he soon found someone that would give him attention. You understand that? That which is most important in your life, you give attention and time to. You pay attention to it.
Out the dog.
Pardon?
Are we after the dog or in front of the dog?
You better be before. Way before. Way before. The third thing in this business of respect is you heed what he says. He does not swallow hook, line, and sinker, but you take it in and digest it. You see, he's, as being the head, he's responsible to God. He's responsible to God. So go ahead, let him get in trouble. Better with God dealing with him than you. Don't get in trouble with God. And so you heed his instruction. Instruction was in our first list. He instructs, and that's part of love. Heed his instruction. Take it in and weigh it out. I wish we'd be way off the path today. We could talk at length about this business of submission, and that's, if you do, and ladies always worry about submission, if you do it the biblical way, it's no problem. It doesn't even come up. It falls in line because that's the way God has put it. But you got to get the jerk at the head to be the right kind of guy. And then it's okay. But you heed, you listen to him. D, you appreciate his work. You appreciate what he does. It is not always fun, just like many of you ladies are in the work world now. It is not fun to get up and go off to work every day. You know what's more fun? To be retired, to have your coffee pot full, to get up when you want to, and to sit there in your PJs and drink coffee. Except I got caught the other day. I have a grandson that checks in every 3 weeks. He calls me from Ohio every 3 weeks. And he always says, "Hey old man, how you doing?" His term of his endearment is, "Hey old man, how you doing?" And I said, "Pretty good." He said, "Well, what are you up to?" I said, "Oh, Grandma and I are just sitting here drinking some coffee, planning out our day." He's not a dummy. He said, "Grandpa, it's 11 o'clock in the morning where you're at." Well, we're still planning our day. We're still having fun drinking coffee. It's not fun to get up and go to work every day. That doesn't mean you hate your job or anything, but it's a grind. We all know what a grind is, and working for a living is a grind. It's a grind that way, okay? And so we need to appreciate his work. Now, you know, when we get all done with respect, and the men are all going to say, "Yeah, I better see some of this." But part of her primary need being loved is that she also needs to be respected. So we got that two-way street going back again. Appreciate her work, but right now we're just working on respect. You honor him, you esteem him, you look up to him. No better example than we had standing up here. You honor him and you esteem him. And here's one that you might choke on, but don't choke on it. You defer to him. If he's wrong to God. He's wrong before God. And you can just say, "Sick him, God," and straighten him out. He's going right. But you defer to him, because if the decision is wrong, God will visit with him and say, "You are instructing, you are guiding wrong." But you listen to him and you defer to him. How do we make major decisions in our household after all these years? Well, it isn't, and I don't think we've hardly ever done it this way, correct me if I'm wrong, honey. It's never, "Well, I'm the head, so I'm the final authority on this." And that's not the way God designed it. But when we lay everything out and we're trying to figure out it and we can't come to a good conclusion, the guy's got to come to a final answer. We have 5 kids in our house, and there's always, what are you going to let your kids do? What are you going to let your kids not do? You know, they'll to do, not to do, etc., etc. And you know, the kids went up, they became teenagers too. Kids just keep growing, and we'd have to decide, you know, how much of this are we going to get involved in? And we came to a conclusion, and I think I probably had the last decision on it, but we were together on it, and we told the kids, you know, as long as you live in this house, we will do this, we will not do that, but we didn't just stop it there so it's a... We said, we are not telling you that we are 100% absolutely right. We are telling you that we had to make a decision, and as your mom and dad, this is the decision. You will leave this home. You will face that decision, and you will make it on your own, and then you will establish a family, and you will make it for your family. You know, more than just the dictator type thing. And so you defer to your husband. He's the head, but he's directly responsible to God, because God made him the head of the woman. Okay, then you hold him in high regard. Now I want to rabbit trail this one for a minute. You hold him in high regard. Let me ask a leading question, and I am not even looking up when I ask this. Wives, when you're out with other women, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if it's family, non-family, friends, neighbors, whatever. What do you say to other women about your husband? We're looking here and it says, hold him in high regard. You couldn't say anything less than 100% positive and adhere to this statement. What do you say about your husbands? I wish the jerk could keep going to class so Larry could straighten him up. He could come to a class for 1,000 years and Larry wouldn't make a dent. Larry might say something that God told me to say that might, by the Holy Spirit's power, prick your heart and life and change it. But do you hold your husband in high regard? I have this feeling in my marriage that Beverly not only loves me, but that she's proud of me. And I have never figured out why. I mean that honestly. I have stumbled so badly, but that she is proud of me for some reason. Has nothing to do with the insurance policies or anything like that. But you know, it leads right into the next one. Look at the next one. Treat is valuable. Treat is valuable. What do you have in your life that's valuable? Well, you have a lot of things. Because we are blessed materially, we have a lot of things materially. And we really like some of those things, and there's not anything wrong with them. But if you have this big of a truck, you know, this big old 350 big of a truck with dualies on the back and crew cab and gun rack and a window and everything, how do you treat that truck? Well, if it was mine, I'd be breezed through every day. A lot of speck of dust, you know. Those things which are valuable, do you not take extra care of? Those things, can I repeat myself? Those things which are valuable, do you not take extra care of? You do? Because they're valuable, right? I mean, I'm going to guard that pink and blue crayon sharpener, you know, with my life. So one of my great-grandkids get a hold of the crayon, and that's the crayon, you know, that way. You treat it as valuable. You treat it as valuable. Is there anything outside your salvation in your life that's more valuable than your husband or your wife? Is there anything more valuable? Anything of value? Oh, we went, husbands ought to identify it. We went through this phase in our marriage, you know, with tools. With tools. One of those, what the world are you doing with thy screwdrivers? That's not a paint scraper. That's a screwdriver. Which caused me to go out and buy her own screwdrivers. Give her and say, these yellows, these are you. Craftsman, mine. If you pick up this Craftsman, lay it down. I'm fingerprinting that thing. Mine. It's valuable, I take care of it. I take care of it. And she has some things of value too. And we take care of them, and materially. But what do we have more valuable than each other? You get down to our stage of life, you don't have much, do you really? I mean, you can look at all those possessions that they come to mean very little. And all you have is each other. That which is valuable, take care of. Why am I raising my voice? They didn't even ask me to preach and fill in for Jake. I'm preaching already. It's valuable, you take care of it. You treat it as valuable. Then you follow his leadership. If it's wrong, God will take care of him. And it's okay for you to pray that God will take care of him. It's okay to pray that God will straighten him up. Just don't pray that Larry will straighten him up, because I can't. Okay? That God will straighten him up. Now, I wrote one more thing under these respect things. He needs to hear this verbally. And women, we said a couple weeks ago, women are really good with words. Well, you're good with good words too, not just cutting words when you're going to this tough. You're very good with words of affirmation. He needs to hear. He needs to hear. You can act this out in respect and in action and everything else, but he needs some verbal affirmation. And he'll stand up a little taller. He'll stand up a little taller that way. Now, what time is it, Squeak? 10. Okay. My next section I'm going to hold till next week because it's a little bit more of a challenge yet, and it is on forgiveness. It is on forgiveness. We have a very poor handle as believers on what real forgiveness is. We have a tendency to lop over the world and say, well, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. Totally wrong model. We will come back, and guess where we're going for the model again to learn about forgiveness? Christ. Now, for the biblical model for love, we went to who? Christ. Biblical model for respect? Christ. Biblical model for forgiveness? Christ. And so we learned the chorus that says, Christ is all I need. Christ is all I need. All I need. Repeat. Christ is all I need. all I need, all I need. All right. You're awesome to put up with this.
So how come?
Beverly said last night, you know, I said, I can't wait. Why? I said, class tomorrow. What? Jeff?
How come there's 21 love things we gotta do and only 8?
You really want me to go out on a limb and answer that, huh?
And there's no scriptures for me, they're just.
Keep him in line, Ruth. All
It's
right.
true, the first 50 minutes were devoted to us, wasn't it? The last 10.
Now, you know, I told you the very first day in here, you know, I will do anything to get you to at least think through these things. Hopefully, because I believe most of them are directed by God, we ought to deal with them in our life. Can you get them all at once? No. Beverly, how long does it take to raise a husband?
Well, so far, 60 years.
And while we laugh at that, that's about 95% true. Or someday you'll ask me and I get to answer the question. I'll just say, about 5 minutes, she came ready, babe. Her mommy did a really great job. I don't know if they're still teaching or not, so don't scream running down the halls. Thank you. Love you guys.